Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We appreciate you all being with us this evening. I want to give you just a brief idea of the run of show for the evening. We will first hear from Governor Gary Herbert. Once the governor is finished with his remarks, we'll hear from each of the bill sponsors. First from Senator Steve Urquhart, followed by Senator Stuart Adams. And after Senator Adams has concluded his remarks, we'll hear from Representative Brad Dee. Once we are done with the remarks here at the podium, the governor, the lieutenant governor, Senate President Wayne Niederhauser, and Speaker of the House Greg Hughes will each take their seats here and sign the bill into law. With that, please welcome Governor Gary R. Herbert.
Well, thank you, and I know the acoustics are not the best here, and we'll try to enunciate clearly, but we certainly want to welcome you to the People's House here to our Capitol on what is an historic occasion. And we appreciate your involvement in being here today, and I'm joined by Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, as has been mentioned, President Wayne Niederhauser, and Speaker of the House Greg Hughes, as well as the bill sponsors behind me, Senator Steve Urquhart, Senator Stuart Adams, and Representative Brad Dee. I also want to recognize all those who have helped bring us here together today. Other members of the legislature certainly have been involved in this, our business and community leaders, a vast array of religious leaders from around the state, our LGBT community, and fellow Utahns everywhere. This has been something of a collaborative effort that's brought us to this historic occasion, and I have no doubt that the eyes of the nation are upon us as we have shown a way to resolve a somewhat contentious issue in a very satisfactory manner. And I do believe that what we've done here will become a model for the rest of the country of how they too can resolve these issues in their own respective states as we find the right balance necessary to discourage discrimination while protecting religious liberty. As I stand here, I think back about 6 weeks ago and where we were as a state, as I had the opportunity to address the people of Utah in my annual State of the State address in a joint session with the legislature, and I affirmed my belief that we as a state needed, in fact, to stand up and speak out and talk about anti-discrimination coupled with religious liberties and make sure that the religious liberties were protected, at the same time recognizing the need to have some anti-discrimination legislation. I believe that we needed to have those work together in concert, one together with each other, and knowing that the compromise was not going to be easy, but was going to be necessary if we're going to find a resolution to this problem. I also expressed a belief that as we do things in Utah, that we in fact do collaborate, that we could work together to develop policies that would treat each of us appropriately with dignity and respect. And so the work of that effort, we see the culmination of that work here today. And I'm pleased to be with you all as we have the opportunity to applaud and recognize the great work of so many people here in Utah to bring us to this point as we take the opportunity to sign into law Senate Bill 296, Anti-Discrimination and Religious Freedom Amendments. We've shown once again that we here in Utah are able to do difficult things. Sometimes those naysayers say you can't do it. We've proven them to be wrong once again. We can do difficult things because we are determined to work together one with another as opposed to working against one another. So the results I think we see here today are remarkable. Again, I applaud all those who have been involved. It's been many people in the legislature, outside the legislature, that's allowed us to come together today on this historic occasion. So I thank one and all for their efforts. I'm going to be pleased to sign this bill here in just a few minutes, and I'm pleased to be the governor of the greatest state in America. Thank you very much.
I am Senator Steve Urquhart. One question, how cool is this? Here we make history. We are showing that LGBT rights, religious liberties, they are not opposite, they're not mutually incompatible, they are pillars in the pantheon of freedom. I have nothing more to say because it's time to sign this bill.
You know, we've heard many times there can be miraculous things happen in a 45-day legislative period. Here we sit on day 45, and a miraculous thing has happened. As we look out, tolerance, compassion, respect for others. Many times we try to look through things through our own eyes. This issue could be very divisive, very compassionate feelings, very tough feelings on both sides of this issue. Many times that can be divisive. We've let this unite us instead of divide us. It's been a very, very true honor to be involved in this process. There have been so many, a few of them behind us. Great stakeholders in the state of Utah who have stepped forward to try to unite with a spirit of compassion, taking care and making sure as we extend rights to some, that we don't take away from the rights of others, a balance, and I think we've achieved it today. Thanks for being here.
I'm honored to be here today and be a small part of this occasion. I must recognize those who have trod the path before that have paved the way. I recognize the senators behind me who have labored diligently, not just this year, but for years, to come to fruition with this particular bill. Some will call it momentous. Others will call it a miracle. Some will call it historic. I just say it's Utah. Where we can prove and we can show the rest of the United States as well as the rest of the world that love can conquer any bias, regardless.
I only wish my name was Jones. Oh, yeah. accused.
Yeah, that's right. What I write isn't either.
I think I.
Let's move so we can get a shot of everyone back.
President, would you like to say something before we dismiss the crowd? Why don't you guys say something?
This is truly a historic day. I've watched this process from day one. It wasn't easy. I know that people wanted to walk from the table a number of times. And so you need to give your heartfelt thanks to these 4 people who stuck to the table with other stakeholders and toughed it out and came up with some of the best legislation that's ever come out of this body and out of this building. So thank you very much, and please give these folks your heartfelt thanks for amazing work.
So we have one of the shortest general sessions in this country, and there's a lot that we have to do in a short amount of time. And when this session began, I don't know if you remember, but this was not even on at least our radar screen on day 1. And here we stand on day 45, having moved mountains in many ways. The New York Times called me yesterday and said, "Why Utah? Why does this happen in your state?" And I'll tell you why. I think it's the people of Utah especially. It's all of you. It's all of the people that we represent as policymakers, the people that make up the fabric of this state, but it's also leadership. The people that you see here had to be committed that the perfect not be the enemy of good. And that's what we did. And we worked together, and we worked hard, and I'm just proud to be a part of it, and I'm proud of everyone here. I'm proud of the leadership shown, and proud of my friend Steve Urquhart here. Thanks.
Jim needs to say some words.
I'll be brief. Governor, Speaker Lockhart, Senator Urquhart. Oh, sorry. Speaker Hughes, Lieutenant Governor, my incredible president, Niederhauser, to Cliff, to so much, to Stuart. Stuart came into this 3 weeks ago. He didn't know an LGBT law from what I know about water law, and he's a hero. I love this man. He pulled it through. And Brad, I love him. Representative D, I can't hug him anymore because we hugged a little bit too much. And I also want to thank Elder Perry. Thank you so much. You've been terrific. We love you. So, with that, LGBT people of Utah, I'm proud of you. I love you. You're equal partners. We're a great state. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know the longer we're here, the more bills die, and I know that means something to all of you. Maybe that's a good stall tactic on our part. I represent a little bit of a different generation, a little bit younger generation, and there's a group of people who don't think this is necessary for the wrong reasons. But there's a group of people, a younger generation, that think this might be not necessary for the right reasons. I've never been more proud of our state. I've never been more proud to call myself a Utahn, and I can't wait for the day when none of these laws are necessary for the right reasons.
Done. Again, thank you all for attending. We've got 5.5 more hours of work ahead of us, so let's get to work.